Hi, welcome to episode 61 of the Preferred Experience podcast, here with Shayne Peterson, friend and owner of Therazona Physical Therapy, awesome athlete, world traveler, all kinds of different things. You actually just got back from Egypt.
Yeah.
So who do you know that's been
globe.
to Egypt? I don't know anyone. You're the first person I knew.
I've
ever known.
That's true. And it's way over there. That's probably why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was it an awesome place?
It was a great experience.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the people are very friendly. It's a great place to travel right now, especially with COVID. There's some restrictions, so a lot of hurdles you have to get over, but once you're there, it's pretty amazing, and you get a lot of time with your guide, and not a lot of people there at all, no crowds, cheap rooms, cool. Those kind of things. But it was a great experience, one of the bucket list items I have, so pretty amazing to see the pyramids.
Yeah. Check out the Instagram Worldwide Shelly.
That's right.
It's a business that they own, Shelly, his wife, and him own, and it's awesome. So many cool places they've been in the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So she does a little flight deals program for people that travel a lot or want to travel. She sends a lot of emails to inboxes, and it's pretty relatively cheap. So it's a good deal. Yeah.
It's like, was it 45
for a year?
45 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So awesome thing to check out. You got to see the pictures. Worldwide Shelly on Instagram.
There you go.
Little plug for that. It's awesome.
Thanks.
It's really cool. You'll see Shayne on a camel in front of pyramids. All kinds of cool stuff.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was really neat to see.
Yeah. Thanks.
So what we're going to talk about today are the 3 best areas to mobilize and focus on for a CrossFit athlete. Shayne's a physical therapist, also an athlete here at CrossFit Preferred, and we've also been going on some other running adventures, hiking adventures, and another Grand Canyon trip planned on May 1st, another beat down for us.
Absolutely. We got to better our time from last year.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. Before we get started too, Shayne is going to we're going to hold a seminar here at the gym on Saturday, April 17th at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And it'll be on low back and hips. We haven't done that in a while, and lots of new athletes here, new members here that
a lot of new faces
really
I think can really help. Yeah, absolutely. We haven't done a mobilization or a mobility course in a while because of COVID, obviously. So I think that's the primary area where people have most difficulty is low back and hips.
I know it is for me.
I know it is for me too. So going running and doing exercises in CrossFit, you do a lot of hip hinging activities. And so that low back gets tested, a lot of trauma, a lot of strain on the low back, deadlifts, burpees, overhead stuff. Really gets the back and the hips knotted up. So I think it'd be a great course for entry level to advanced, and give you a lot of different ideas on how to stretch, how to mobilize, using the Rogue Band, using different techniques to get yourself in the right position to feel the stretch in each of those muscles, especially the deep hip rotators and the low back muscles that just don't get stretched enough, I think is kind of what our primary focus is. So should be good.
And when Shayne's there, you always get a better stretch and better mobility because he'll push you, just like a coach will in here. He'll coach you on it and get you better.
That's true. So
it helps a lot.
Yeah.
The other thing, stay tuned till the very end because we have a really cool special that Shayne's going to offer at the end, and we're excited to tell you about that.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll get started on the 3 best areas to mobilize and focus on as a CrossFit athlete.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say is the first best area to start on?
I think there's so many different ways to mobilize the body, and I was here on Friday night watching the CrossFit Friday Night Lights, and a lot of people were coming out with some legs and hips and calves that were kind of spent, shoulders as well. So we try to pick apart maybe what are the best ways to keep the blood flowing in our body and keep the muscles fresh and recovering from some of this intense workout, right? So the first one is stretching, and I know you've heard it ever since you were in PE for the first time in first grade probably, right? They had you sit around a circle and you all did different stretches. Well, that's called static stretching. where you're sitting or you're staying in one place and you're stretching. And that's somewhat beneficial.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do what active stretching can do. So what I would suggest is after a heavy workout, when you're getting what's called DOMS syndrome.
Yeah.
So DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness. And we probably all experience that. After doing something really rigorous and hard, your muscles have a lot of soreness, a lot of achiness. You can't barely get off the toilet.
Yeah. You notice it even more sometimes for me the second day.
Yeah. And that's why it's called delayed onset muscle soreness. You may not feel it that night. You may not even feel it the next day, but by the second day, you're really starting to feel the muscle burn and ache and get sore.
Yeah, kind of tighten up
and it tightens up and pull together. Absolutely.
Or if you're like Tirsa and I, we woke up Saturday morning, drove to Cant't, Utah, 6 hours away after doing that wonderful workout of everything from the floor, and everything did kind of tighten up more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So delayed onset muscle soreness, there's a couple of theories behind why this occurs. The first one is some micro damage occurring at the cellular level in the muscle fiber itself. So you're actually injuring those muscle fibers. But that's how you get hypertrophy. That's how the body adapts and accommodates, and it starts to get larger and stronger, and it can tolerate more.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it's not a bad thing.
Yep.
Yep.
But there's also some recovery that has to occur afterwards in order for that muscle to recover, be ready for exercise again. The other theory is that the body produces a byproduct called lactic acid. We've probably heard of that before. It's something that the body produces after intense workouts, and it makes the muscle sore. So we have to excrete that lactic acid out of our muscles before the muscles are able to perform at a high level again. So how do we do that, right? So how do we get rid of that soreness and that achiness and that lactic acid that builds in our system? And so there's a few different ways. Let's go back to the first one, and that's stretching, right? Stretching is a great way to get rid of some of this DOMS effect, because as we stretch, the muscles react to tension and pressure. So as we're building some tension across that muscle, we're also increasing blood flow, fluid exchange. We're opening up those cross fibers again that feel constricted and tight, and we're opening those back up and stretching, and that's going to get rid of some of that muscle soreness. So stretching is a great way of doing it. What I would focus on, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, how long do you recommend holding a stretch?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the longer the better is the answer, but a lot of us can't hold them for that long on our own. So either having a partner to do them with, or using like a wall or something like that that will help us stay in that position as long as you can is going to be better. You know, I know a lot of mobility WODs that I've seen, they say stretch for 2 to 3 minutes holding in one position.
Yeah.
That's pretty long. A lot of us can't hold and sustain that. But really, in order to get a length to change, you do have to sustain it for a while.
Yeah, makes sense.
I would say at least 20 to 30 seconds, up to 2 minutes of a prolonged stretch would be what I would recommend. Yeah. Now, there's also something called active stretching too, right? Or dynamic stretching. And this is when you're actually moving and stretching at the same time. So we do a lot of that in CrossFit with like Spider-Mans. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way for a warm-up, but it's also really good as a cool down or a way to reduce your DOMS effect.
Yeah,
totally. So you get on the ground or you're walking while doing some stretching, walking while kicking your legs up, walking while kicking your legs back behind you, doing Spider-Mans, right? Anything walking and moving at the same time where you're getting some dynamic movement, blood flow, elongation of the muscles, especially targeting those muscles that were just worked hard during that exercise program. So if there was a lot of shoulders, we want to work the shoulders a lot. And actively means swinging them, moving them, you know, getting light resistance going along with the movement is going to increase blood flow, increase fluid exchange. So not holding them in certain positions for a long time, but actually moving them in and out of positions. I know we use the mobility stick a lot, doing overs, around the worlds. Those are all active movements, which are great for reducing DOMS effect and reducing muscle soreness and recovering that tissue much better. So I'd say the first thing is stretching.
Yep.
both active and static stretching, targeting those areas that have just been worked and overused a little bit. And that way you get some fluid exchange, blood flow, elongation, all that's going to help recover you a little bit.
Definitely not sitting around watching TV, eating lots of food
right
after.
No, you bring up a good
not
point.
The best thing.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I mean, you're at work, right? If you're a desk jockey, you're sitting a long time, you need to plan on after the days of these workouts to get up and move around, set a timer so that you're notified every 30 minutes to an hour to get up, move around, walk, take a little walk, do some high knees, do some kickbacks, do some air squats, do some things that'll get the body moving and keep things elongated
Totally
and
helps.
stretched out.
My Apple Watch.
Yes.
It's one of my things I like
Stand
about the Apple Watch. It tells me to stand up. So at work, a lot of times I can get really in a bad habit of sitting for a long time and responding to people and calling people, and keeps me. Reminds me sometimes.
It really does. And you bring up
time will fly by sometimes.
Right. No, absolutely. And when you're at work and you're into something, time just kind of flies by. You bring up a good point, and that is sometimes the sitting not only stiffens your low back and hips, but if you're a person that deals with neck issues, and you did a heavy shoulder activity, and you sit for a long time, things really tighten up, and you do have to take your time, and you can do just mobilization activities and stretches there at your desk even for your neck, for your back, for your upper shoulders, your rhomboids, your shoulder blades. And so just taking that time and setting a timer so that I need to get up and stretch a little bit, I think is really useful.
Yeah, it does help a lot.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm the guy at work that's walking around stretching and moving and
yeah, you're doing Spider-Mans while you're trying to sell a car. Hey, wait just a minute.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Exactly. I need to look under your car.
Yeah, let me check that out. Yeah.
So I think the other way we can mobilize, obviously, is using some tools. And I know in CrossFit you guys use the foam rollers and the lacrosse balls. And I think those are great tools to use in a way to target the muscles and put pressure on them. If you remember, I said the muscles respond to tension and pressure. So stretching is tension, pressure is compressing that muscle. So compressing it using the foam roller and or a lacrosse ball really can help flush out a lot of the knots, the ropes, the tightness, the scar tissue, the inflammation that kind of sits in those muscles for a while after you've worked them out a lot. So the foam roller works great for maybe big muscle groups, right? The hips, the low back, the legs. But I would say the lacrosse ball works better for the shoulder, for the neck, and then also pinpointing certain areas and trigger points in the shoulder blades or the low back. The lacrosse ball can really do well. Use the wall or the ground and use your body weight to kind of compress that tissue. Use that pressure. And when you use that pressure and really dig into those spots, you can really feel the muscle release. You can feel blood flow, it just rush to that area. And afterwards, you feel so much better. I mean, that tightness just disappears.
Makes a big difference.
Makes a huge difference. It really increases the temperature in that area as well, which increases blood flow. Vasodilation occurs in that area. So fluid exchange is happening. There's so many things on a cellular level that happen with the pressure that you're putting on that muscle or that tendon or whatever it is. So one
of the things that I've really noticed with the foam roller and the lacrosse ball is I'll find an area that's tight and really do micro movements, kind of go
just
really
oscillate
small,
across it.
and then I'll find the worst spot and I'll just sit on it for the 30 seconds to a minute.
Those are hot spots, and I love that idea.
It totally releases the whole area. I'll do that with my feet a lot. We get really tight feet in CrossFit from all the jumping and double
bounding.
unders and running and all kinds, and even the heavy weights I'll notice will make a big difference on will really tighten up my feet. So I'll those are a couple things that I really do.
No, I think that's a great idea. You oscillate across the tension of the muscle, and you're almost hunting around finding that pain point.
The worst.
And then the worst. When you find that spot, that hot spot, then you just compress that until it releases and relaxes a little bit.
Makes a huge difference.
I think that's a great way of going about it.
Yeah. Why is it that pain is what makes us better?
Yeah, right. It's just weakness leaving the body, right?
That's
That's what they say. So if you apply pain right to that area, all you're doing is just getting rid of all the weak spots.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it.
That's what we're working on at CrossFit all the time.
That's
and
right.
in life.
And in life.
Yep.
Right.
It makes us better. So that's 2, stretching.
We got it through stretching, the static and the active stretching. We got through hitting trigger points using foam roller and lacrosse ball. I think those are 2 great ways to do it. And I think the last one is just dynamic movement. And we talked about that a little bit already, but I think even getting into a light cardiovascular activity, right? Like swimming or biking or something that you enjoy doing, find that on your off day, your recovery day, and do it for kind of a long time, 20 to 30 minutes, or even take 40 minutes.
Or join us and go for 2 or 3 hours.
You could do that too. A light run. Yeah, my wife always, you go on a light run, you come back 4 hours later. I know all about your light runs.
Yeah.
But the less intense that workout can be during your recovery, the better. And for your mind, for your body, I think it reduces your emotional and your mental stress. And that causes release of your physiological stress that's happening in your body as well. So something you don't talk about a lot, but doing something light for a long period of time is so good for you mentally, so good for you emotionally, and it allows the body to recover. I know a lot of times my Garmin will say, suggested workout today, recovery, do not exercise. You've gone too hard, too much, too often. And I think a lot of times CrossFitters' mindset is, I got to do more.
You gotta go hard.
I got to go hard every day. And I think we need to back out of that a little bit, especially the 2 or 3 days post hard workout, and use those as fun days. Whatever you enjoy doing, go kayaking, go canoeing, go longboarding, go whatever you enjoy doing. Take those times to just help the body recover by doing something light but with movement. I think that really can help mind, body, everything.
I notice sometimes after, we've been running far on Saturdays a lot lately, or hiking, going really hard on Friday. Sometimes Saturdays for me, I just want to hike, or just a really
be
light
outside
run and just keep moving.
Keep moving.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Get you out in nature. Being outside really makes a big difference too.
It really does, absolutely. And if you think about it, why you do CrossFit is so you can experience and enjoy life more.
Totally.
So when you go and hit it hard at the gym, have the reward at the end, and that is go out and enjoy yourself. Pain, with maybe a little soreness, but you're doing it lightly, and you're recovering, and you're enjoying nature. And I think that really helps stimulate the whole body, and it helps you get more focused for the next big event, right? Yeah.
Yep. So
I think those are the
three
things.
main areas.
Yeah.
And then if those areas don't work for you, what works really well? Right.
So I think those are things that you can do at home that I think really are easy to implement into your lifestyle or your life program. But I think there's some things at the clinic that we can also help with, and we get a little bit more aggressive and a little more invasive. So we have things like dry needling. So if you haven't tried dry needling before and you have a trigger point, or you have a spot where it really bothers you, or it inflames quickly, or it's just a trouble spot for you, it might be a neck, it might be a low back, it might be a hip, any place where you tend to have some chronic issues with, that would be a good place to hit with dry needling, because the dry needling will release that tension in that area. It increases blood flow to that area. It's a little bit more invasive, but you barely even feel it. And it's a great experience, and it can really help you get past maybe this chronic issue that you're dealing with. So dry needling is a great way to recover.
Check out my picture on Therazona Physical Therapy. You won't see me, you'll see my foot.
With some needles.
There's about 15, 20 needles in my foot.
Stabbing you.
Man, it's about time for me to go back in and do that again, because it makes a big difference.
When you put a lot of mileage on certain areas of your body and they just become prone to just getting hot and inflamed, that dry needling really seems to
release it and make it better.
It does. So go ahead.
I always try and do some stuff on my own to get it good, but sometimes there's things that you can't do on your own, and you know, like most of us, we could all go work out on our own, but having a coach that pushes you and a team of people that pushes you, it just gets you to that next level. And that's been my experience with physical therapy too, is you help get you even better.
Get you even better. And doing it on your own, sometimes you don't know how much to do and how hard to press and how long to hold, and I think having our guidance there and helping you do it with you and for you,
and all the experience you've had helping people, and
I think that
knowing how to
time that, I think it really can make a huge difference, and again, break through a plateau maybe that you're hitting up against a wall each time you go and do something with. The other part of it is, or the other technique is cupping, and I think that can really be helpful for recovery. We have a lot of CrossFitters that come over with shoulder and hip issues that will cup, and we do cupping both dynamic and static, but the cupping can help really release some of that tension as well. So again, a little more aggressive than what you would do on your own, but it also gets to that next level of recovery as well. So if you're really hurting in a certain spot, you can come in. It'll only take about 30 minutes, and actually we're going to be doing a little giveaway here where we'll let you experience what that cupping kind of feels like. But if you haven't had it done, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's really similar to massage, but instead of compressing the tissue, you're actually pulling apart that muscle and that tendon. We get a lot of scar tissue and adhesions that bind our tissue, and so the cupping helps release and separate some of that tissue a little bit. It can also help increase blood flow, reduce your DOMS effect, improve movement, reduce some of that restrictions in your shoulders, hips, and so forth. So I really think cupping can be a great tool as well for recovery.
And not something you can really do on your own.
Something that's hard to do on your own, and something that we could do in the clinic for you, and I think you'd feel super after using it. So
awesome.
So that's another technique.
Yep.
The other thing that we have is they're called compression boots. You've probably seen these displayed for runners and bikers who are using the big muscle groups in the hips and the legs. We have a unit all over our clinic where we put some boots on and we run some compression, which this high volume compression around the muscles, again, help improve circulation, improve lactic acid distribution and excreting that out of the system. It really helps with recovery, refreshing those muscles as well. So the compression works really good, the cupping, the dry needling, just some basic massage, obviously, and trigger point massage.
Great massage.
That works really good too. And we get a little more aggressive, and it's more therapeutic in nature rather than, you can go and get massages at other places that are more full body. But the deeper tissue, more focal massage where we're hitting an injured area really can kind of get you to that next level. I think it really can. So those are some different techniques that we use in our clinic that would help restore that mobility back before the next event. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So anything else we want to share with them today? Share with everyone?
I don't know. I think that we hit a lot of a lot of different things. No, I think that's cool. Pretty well.
So the awesome special that we have at the end of this is you're offering, I'll let you tell them what you're offering. Yeah,
we're just offering a 30 minutes of cupping to anybody who wants to give it a try. So at any time, if you want to give us a call and tell you're a CrossFit member, and maybe tell them a body part like a shoulder or a back or a hip that you'd like to try some cupping, that we'll go ahead and schedule you for 30 minutes, have you come in, sit down with you a little bit, and get a little history of why you're having some tension in that area, and then we'll do a 30-minute cupping, let you kind of experience what that feels like, and I think you'll really you'll love it.
Oh, you'll love it.
And I think
super generous of you.
You'll think that it's a neat technique
for offering that.
Oh, you bet. You bet. No, it'll be fun.
So cool.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for being on here.
Not a problem.
It's a lot of fun. We're excited about our seminar that we're going to have April 7th, Saturday, April 17th, 10 a.m. we'll have a sign up going around for it, and it's going to be very helpful. We've done them in the past, and it's huge. It really makes a big difference.
Yeah, it is. I think it's worth tuning in and coming down and going through it with us. Mm-hmm. When you do it yourself and you kind of see the difference that it makes, then you're more prone to do it again and do it again. So it's one of those things you can't listen to or hear or read. You just need to come and do it.
Yeah, you got to experience it.
Got to experience it. Once you feel how well you stretch in these different positions, you're going to be like, wow, every time I do some squats, I need to do this stretch. So yeah, we'll do it.
Thanks again.
Oh, you bet.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
We'll see you.